So I'll sing one bhajan. This bhajan is by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Nadiya Godru mein Nityananda Mahajan. Nadiya Godru mein Nityananda Mahajan. Nadiya Godru mein Nityananda Mahajan. Pati ache naam hatta jive rakaran. Pati ache naam hatta jive rakaran. Shraddhavan jaan hai, Shraddhavan jaan hai. प्रभु राज्ञाय भाई मागी ये भिक्षा. बोलो कृष्णा भजो कृष्णा करो कृष्णा शिक्षा. अपराध शून्य हो लो कृष्ण नाम. कृष्ण माता कृष्ण पिता कृष्ण धन प्राण. कृष्ण रा संसार करो छाड़िया नाचार. कृष्ण रा संसार करो छाड़िया नाचार. जीव दया कृष्ण नाम सर्वधर्म सार. जीव दया कृष्ण नाम सर्वधर्म सार. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे. हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. This bhajan by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, very simple words we have sung many times before. In the land of Nadia, on the island of Godruma, the magnanimous Lord Nityananda has opened up the marketplace of the holy name, meant for the deliverance of all fallen souls. O people of faith, by the order of Lord Gauranga, O brothers, I beg these three requests of you. Chant Krishna, worship Krishna, and teach others about Krishna. Being careful to remain free of offenses, just take the holy name of Lord Krishna. Krishna is your mother, Krishna is your father, and Krishna is the treasure of your life. Give up all sinful activities, carry on your worldly duties only in relation to Lord Krishna. The showing of compassion to other souls by loudly chanting the holy name of Krishna is the essence of all forms of religion. So yesterday evening we were doing Harinam, so we see here in this bhajan Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that the showing of compassion to other souls is by loudly chanting the holy names of Krishna, and that is the essence of all forms of religion. So we all should enthusiastically participate in Harinam Sankirtan. So we'll be reading today from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, first canto, chapter number 17, verse number 40. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashta Praeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 1, chapter number 17, the chapter entitled Punishment and Reward of Kali, and today is the verse number 40. Amuni pancha sthanani hiya adharma pravah kali autarrena dattani navasattan nideshakret. Amuni pancha sthanani hiya dharma pravah kali autarrena dattani navasattan nideshakret. Amuni pancha sthanani hiya dharma pravah kali autarrena dattani navasattan nideshakre. Please chant. Amuni pancha sthanani Bhagavate. Word to word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Amuni, all those. Pancha, 5. sthanani, places. He certainly, adharma, irreligious principles, prava, encouraging, kali, the age of Kali, Autaryena, by the son of Uttara, Dattani, delivered, Nayavasat, dwelt, Tat, by him, Nideshakrit, directed. Translation. Thus the personality of Kali, by the direction of Maharaja Pariksit, the son of Uttara, was allowed to live in those 5 places. Purport. Thus, the age of Kali began with gold standardization, and therefore, falsity, intoxication, animal slaughter, and prostitution are rampant all over the world. And the sinner's action is eager to drive out corruption. The counteracting process is suggested above, and everyone can take advantage of these suggestions. Om Ajnanaatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakcharamritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapad Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsya Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyatya Deshatarine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Sri Varjvanvi Devi Daitaya Kripyabdhe Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prave Namah Madhur Jala Premadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Sakti Vigrahaya Namastute Namas Rupanuga Vrudappa Siddhantanta Harini Namo Gaur Kishoraya Sakchad Vairagya Murtahe Amar Sambodhe Padambujayate Nama Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaur Sakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virar Bhumistam Nirdesa Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarabhoma Shri Jagannathayate Nama Vancha Kalpataru Bhasya Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnevyo Namo Namah Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaur Tushay Namah Panchtatvatkam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhaktavtaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Jaitam Surta Pangor Mamanda Matergati Matsarvasa Padam Bhoja Radha Madan Mohanam Divyad Vindaranya Kalpadrumada Śrīmad Rattagar Simhasnasta Śrīmad Radha Shila Govindeo Prashtali Vi Sevamano Smarami Sriman Rad Sarsarambi Vamsi Vatatrastita Karsan Venu Sonair Gopi Gopinatha Sri Astuna Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So here in this section of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, you see Pariksit Maharaj is giving some place to the personality of Kali where he can function. So 2 verses back, verse number 38, we heard that Pariksit Maharaj said that you can go to these 4 places wherever there is gambling, intoxication, meat eating and illicit sex life. And just imagine what was the standard of the ruling by Pariksit Maharaj, that Kali said that there is no such place in your kingdom. So what kind of great king? There is no such place, no place where there is intoxication, no place there is gambling. Such was the kingdom by Pariksit Maharaj. Then which place he gave further? When Kali asked, okay, give some more place. What was given? Wherever there is gold and, basically it was unnecessary holding of gold. Someone holding too much of gold, then later on it will lead to breaking of these regulative principles. It has been observed that people, when they have less money, they live very simple life. But as soon as they have more money, then they will start getting into sense gratification. Like, if there is no money, they would not have television at home. They will have simple food. They will not go out to clubs or theaters. But as soon as money will increase, then they will get television, then in that there would be, what do you call that, cable connection, dish connection. Then people will start having all kind of intoxication, meat eating, because breaking regulative principles requires money. Living a pure life, you don't need much money. But if somebody wants to break regulative principles, like wants to do intoxication, then he has to buy alcohol or he has to buy cigarette. And the government puts the maximum taxes on intoxicant products only. So the cigarettes, alcohol, they have the maximum government taxes. And if you go out on the road in Attapur or anywhere, we see that the maximum crowd is on the liquor shop. It's always crowded. And the shop will have full grill because they want to manage the crowd movement. So maximum crowded. Whether all the shops on Sunday will be closed, but that shop will be open. And maximum crowded. And any time, it's so much addiction. So as soon as there's money, people want to break regulative principles. And they are not even guided or educated that it is wrong. They don't even know what's wrong in that. Because there is so much of trouble in the life. To get some kind of peace, happiness, they get into these things. So even when there is a lot of gold, that leads to further sense gratification only. Because when there are resources and people don't know how to use the resources positively, then they will use it negatively. Will use it for sense gratification. So that's why Prabhupada says that everyone can take the benefit of the counteracting process. What Prabhupada suggested in the previous purport, someone remembers? What were the suggestions by Srila Prabhupada? The counteracting process. Okay. Yeah, no divorce allowed. Divorce should be removed, yes. Paper currency should be stopped. 24 years for men, 16 years for ladies. What else? Compulsory 2 fasting days in a month. Divorce law should be abolished. What else? 2 verses back, Prabhupada gave all this. 38th verse, that what all should be done. Yeah, tons of food. We are saving some kilograms here by fasting on Ekadashi. And then in the previous purport, Prabhupada said that the paper currency should be removed. Now government is willing to remove paper currency. Now they are coming with digital currency. So you don't have anything paper also, no gold also, now everything is in digital. Just you see on your screen, any moment the currency can be over also. But it's all digital, you don't have anything. Tomorrow if the bank's server crash, nothing is there, the app will not open only. Or even when it opens, the balance would be zero. Like recently, what happened to our temple bank's account, that some or other, the account got blocked. So we cannot do any transaction last 4 days. We cannot make any payment. We say the transactions are disabled. OTPs are not coming, logins are not happening, so some technical issue. So that's how it is. Earlier people would have gold, there is no technical issue. You can give gold, but now it is all digital. So anytime OTP is not working, cannot make any payment. Logins are not happening, cannot make any payment. Server is down, cannot do anything. So this is all very inappropriate, and that leads to, because such kind of digital currency, it is not weighted with the same amount of gold. Government can produce any print, any number of paper currency. So Prabhupada explains all this, that how all these ways leads to intoxication, animal slaughter, prostitutions, gambling. So these are the 4 pillars of irreligious life. And similarly, there are 4 pillars of religious life. What are those? Truthfulness, cleanliness, austerity, and mercy. Truthfulness, cleanliness, austerity, and mercy. So at one point we have to make sure that we follow these 4 regulative principles. At the same time, we should also ensure that we follow the 4 pillars of dharma, the 4 pillars of religious life: truthfulness, cleanliness, austerity, and mercy. And when we are in a association of devotees, it is possible for us to do that. Prabhupada explains various places in his purports about these 4 regulative principles one should not break. Like meat eating when involves no tea, no coffee, no kind of intoxicants. Intoxication also involves no tea, no coffee. Meat eating also involves no eggs. And we find this very strictly in the star movement. Like if you go to any other place, even if they are Vaishnava Sampradayas, they are fine, okay, you can drink tea, you can have coffee, not so much of strictness. One can have even food with onion, garlic. So many places, even if they are very famous institutions of one of the Vaishnava Sampradayas, but not so strict, they have all those things. Regarding illicit sex, Prabhupada explains in one of the purports that one should follow the life of a brahmacharya. And he says there are 8 aspects of brahmacharya life. He writes in a purport in the 6th canto, one should not even think of women, should not speak about sex life, dally with women, look lustfully at women, talk intimately with women, or decide to engage in sexual intercourse. Nor should one endeavor for sex life or engage in sex life. One should not even think of women or look at them, to say nothing of talking with them. This is called first class brahmacharya. So like that, pure life. So when we read these purports, the next step is we have to follow it to the as much as possible. Not as much as possible, but follow it as it is, whatever is there. Shri Shri Radha Madhav ki jai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maiya ki jai. To open. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So these are the regulative principles, what to follow, what not to follow. But now we are practicing, we heard, okay, these are the 4 things we should not follow. So today I thought we will discuss something what to do, how to discharge our devotional service. So it is explained very nicely by one of our Goswamis. Who is that? Srila Rupa Goswami. He explains 64 angas of devotional service. So we all know 5 are very famous. What are those 5? Sadhu Sang, associating with devotees, chanting the holy names, Nam Sankirtan, Dhamvas, residing in a holy place or Krishna's temple, hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and deity worship. So this is called the 5 most important steps of devotional service. But there are total 64 in number. So we'll go through that and we'll see that how by being in temple and by practicing Krishna consciousness, we are almost following all the 64 angas of bhakti every day. Almost every day. And if you just attend full morning program, then almost 70-80% is followed. So it is so beautiful. Prabhupada has designed the Krishna conscious society so nicely that just if we remain in association of devotees and just follow the temple program, our advancement in Krishna consciousness is very quick. We don't have to do anything extra. So Srila Rupa Goswami mentions, Prabhupada writes this in Nectar of Devotion about the 64 angas of bhakti. So I'll go one by one. Maybe we discuss a little bit, otherwise we'll go on reading that. And you just analyze whether I am doing that or not. So he mentions the basic principle, first one, accepting the shelter of the lotus feet of bona fide spiritual master. Just like we have taken initiation, we are following the instruction of Srila Prabhupada. Second one, becoming initiated by the spiritual master and learning how to discharge devotional service from him. Third one, obeying the orders of the spiritual master with faith and devotion. Fourth, following in the footsteps of great acharyas under the direction of spiritual master. Fifth, inquiring from the spiritual master how to advance in Krishna consciousness. Sixth, being prepared to give up anything material for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Seventh, residing in a sacred place of pilgrimage like Dwarka or Vrindavan, or we can say this temple is non-different because here is the Shri Radha Madhav. Prabhupada in many of his letters he writes about not only Vrindavan but Vrindavan consciousness. Here I am in New York but I am in Vrindavan, he says like this. So that is Vrindavan consciousness, that wherever we are, if we are remembering Krishna, serving him, that's Vrindavan consciousness. Accepting only what is necessary or dealing with the material world only as far as necessary. So whatever is very important in helping to practice Krishna consciousness. Ninth, observing the fast day on Ekadashi. And 10th, worshipping the sacred trees like banyan tree. So these were the first 10 most basic principles. And we see we are doing almost all these 10 in our day-to-day of practice of Krishna consciousness. So further, Srila Rupa Goswami writes, these 10 are the preliminary necessities. Then he gives another 10, the next set of 10 instructions. One should rigidly give up the company of non-devotees. So many times we come up in Krishna consciousness, we have non-devotee friends. And these non-devotee friends may invite us for various programs, functions. We should avoid that. We should give up the association of non-devotee friends. Before coming to Krishna consciousness, I had many friends, my school friends. And at that time there was no smartphone, so I was having a regular button phone. So one day and then we would talk a lot. Even I got connected with Krishna consciousness. They would call, friends would call, I will call. It was just going on. There's no way to avoid it. So one day when I was coming, somewhere I went and I was coming in the auto rickshaw, and some phone slipped out from my pocket and lost. And there was no it was not a smartphone, the contacts were not synced, all finished. And I had not maintained any diary of the contact numbers. After that, no one contacted me, I also could not contact anyone. So one should rigidly give up the company of non-devotees. Avoid non-devotees, rigidly. One should not instruct a person who is not desirous of accepting devotional service. Unnecessarily should not waste our time with people who are not interested. One should be very enthusiastic about constructing temples or monasteries. One should not be very enthusiastic. You all are reading with me, or are you showing it here? Okay. So one should not be very enthusiastic. Not that one should be very enthusiastic. One should not be very enthusiastic about constructing costly temple or monasteries. Fourth, one should not try to read too many books, nor should one develop the idea of earning his livelihood by lecturing on or professionally reciting Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam or Bhagavad Gita. Should understand that Yug Dharma is chanting of holy names, Sankirtan. Sometimes we may get this idea, I want to become a scholar, I will read so many books, but not required. Srila Prabhupada has given us sufficient teachings in his books. We just read that and do our chanting, regular chanting, and follow the principles given. That is enough. So one should not even, lecture or profession reciting Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam or Bhagavad Gita. Sometimes people call us, come to our home, do kirtan. How much you will charge? So we used to have standard practice. We say, you take 100 Bhagavad Gitas, you will come. You distribute 100 Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, it should not be a professional. Outside there are people who are charged 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs to do one katha. And their money they just keep with them. So, professionally reciting Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam or Bhagavad Gita. One should not be neglectful in ordinary dealings. We have day-to-day our dealings with devotees. We should be very respectful and not be neglectful. One should not be under the spell of lamentation in loss or jubilation in gain. We lose sometimes, gain sometimes, don't get very emotional about it. One should not disrespect the demigods. One should not give unnecessary trouble to any living entity. One should carefully avoid the various offenses in chanting the holy name of the Lord or in worshipping the deity in the temple. One should be very tolerant, one should be very intolerant towards the blasphemy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, or his devotees. So, very simple principles we are following, but we have to become very cautious that we follow it very strictly. Like just now when I am reading, I am also feeling that one should not be neglectful in ordinary dealings. So day to day also, even addressing devotees as Prabhu, even chanting our rounds, even whatever we do, one should not be neglectful, but very careful that yes, I am doing it for Krishna, I am doing it, is a part of Krishna consciousness activities, and I should be very careful. So, further he says, without following the above mentioned 10th principle, one cannot properly elevate himself to the platform of sadhana bhakti or devotional service. After that, there are more 44 principles which Srila Rupa Goswami mentions. So till now we went through 20. And we are aware of these 20 to some extent. It's not that we are not aware, but we have to be just remindful. We remember that, okay, I'm doing it or not in our day-to-day practice of Krishna consciousness. So the next important items are as follows. First, one should decorate the body with tilak, which is the sign of a Vaishnava. 12 tilaks we apply. Not only just one tilak, and all the tilaks we have to apply very nicely, properly. 12 tilaks on the body. We have one devotee in Juhu, His Grace Vaikunthamurti Prabhu. You will see all his tilaks are so elaborate, and very distinct, very clear, very distinct, very clear, and big tilak, big marks of tilak. So sometimes we put tilak, we want to take it all the way till Shikha, but that's not the goal. The tilak is only in the front. Devotees will take it as long as it goes. But anyways, one should decorate the body with tilak, 12 tilak marks. Or sometimes we feel that, okay, this tilak is visible, so I have to put it very nicely. All the tilaks, no one is watching, so, just like this. But no, those tilak also should be put very properly. So, as it is mentioned, one should decorate the body with tilak as a temple of the Lord. Prabhupada explained the idea is that as soon as one will see, any person sees these marks on the body of a Vaishnava, he'll immediately remember Krishna. Like we go with tilak, people will see, they say Hare Krishna. We go without tilak, no one will say Hare Krishna. But as soon as they say tilak, they will say this is a devotee. In marking such tilak, sometimes one may write Hare Krishna on the body. So this is not very important. Sometimes it is said. See, some devotees, sometimes they get tattooed Mahamantra. But yeah, it becomes sometimes fashionable. So, third one should accept flowers and garlands that have been offered to the deity and the spiritual master and put them on one's body. Before coming to Krishna consciousness, I had no idea. Even beginning when I came, I saw so many devotees in Juhu wearing garlands. And I misunderstood. I thought, what kind of, this is some kind of, show off. They themselves are wearing garlands and moving. But when we read that, okay, this is actually a expression of devotion, that we are accepting the garlands offered to the deities and the devotees. Fourth, one should learn to dance before the deity. Dancing before the deity, a very important aspect of devotional service. Fifth one should learn to bow down immediately upon seeing the deity or spiritual master. So familiarity breeds contempt. It may happen that because we are every time coming and going to temples, okay, it's okay, I already paid my obeisances in the morning. No, anytime we see the deity, we have to bow down. Or see the spiritual master, we have to bow down. His Grace Shrutakirti Prabhu mentions that when he was serving Srila Prabhupada, he would make chapatis for Srila Prabhupada, and the system was that Prabhupada would want fresh, hot chapatis. So by the time Prabhupada honors one chapati, he has to roll, put it on the tawa, and chapatis, puffed up, and immediately will go and put one on the plate of Srila Prabhupada. By the time Prabhupada finishes that, he will be making another one and take it to the plate of Srila Prabhupada. So he says, every time when I make a fresh puffed chapati, I would enter into Prabhupada's room, I would pay him obeisances, and then go and give chapati. Come out, go to the kitchen, make next chapati, enter Prabhupada's room, pay obeisances, go and give chapati. So never ever Prabhupada said, no, it's okay, you don't need to pay obeisances every time. Prabhupada never said like this. I was doing it and Prabhupada never stopped me. So we say here, it is mentioned, one should bow down immediately upon seeing the deity or the spiritual master. Sixth one, as soon as one visits a temple of Lord Krishna, one must stand up. As soon as one visits a temple of Lord Krishna, one must stand up. Seventh, when the deity is being borne for a stroll in the street, a devotee should immediately follow the procession. Like we go for Sobha Yatras, the deity go, like we went to Udupi and they had this Rath Yatra every day. We still don't have Shobha Yatras here, but we will have in future. So one should join the procession. Then we read till 7. Prabhupada explains this so nicely in a big way. Better to read it. You please hear. In this connection, it may be noted that in India, especially in Vishnu temple, the system is that apart from the big deity who is permanently situated in the main area of the temple, there is a set of smaller deities which are taken in procession in the evening. In some temples, it is the custom to hold a big procession in the evening with a band playing and a nice big umbrella over the deities, who sit on a decorated throne on the cart or palanquin, which is carried by devotees. The devotees come out onto the street and travel in the neighborhood while the people of the neighborhood come out to offer prasad. The residents of the neighborhood all follow the procession. So it is a very nice scene. When the deity is coming out, the servitors in the temple put forward the daily accounts before them. So much was the collection, so much was the expenditure. The whole idea is that the deity is considered to be the proprietor of the whole establishment. And all the priests and other people taking care of the temple are considered to be the servants of the deity. This system is very, very old and still followed. So therefore it is mentioned here that when the deity is on the stroll, the people should follow behind. It's very common in South India, like almost every day in many of the South Indian temples, they have evening Sobha Yatra kind of, the deities go out, one parikrama. Eighth, a devotee must visit a Vishnu temple at least once or twice every day, morning and evening. Vishnu temple every day, once or twice. So twice would be a good practice, and for us it is very easy. Anytime you are coming, going up, we can visit a temple hall. Prabhupada again quotes Vrindavan Dham for this. Ninth, one must circumambulate the temple building at least 3 times. 3 times minimum. We don't have that facility here. One should also circumambulate the whole Vrindavan area. 10th, one must worship the deity in the temple according to regulative principles. We read in deity worship course, according to the regulative principles of worship. It was so much stressed by Shitalanga Prabhu. One should worship the deity as per the regulative principles of worship. Offering arti, prasadam, decorating the deity, these things must be observed regularly. So important. 11th, one must render personal service to the deities. So those who are Brahman initiated, they can do some offering, bhoga offering, dressing. And we were taught in our deity worship course that those who are not Brahman initiated, they can also do various seva. One of the way to do deity worship for them is to attend full arti, means from the blowing of the conch in the beginning to the end time when the conch is blown. So full arti if someone attends, he is also doing deity worship. Plus many other activities which we do. 12th, one must sing. 13th, one must perform Sankirtan. 14th, one must chant. 15th, one must offer prayers. We can memorize the prayers of Kunti Devi, prayers of so many devotees are there in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. 16th, one must recite notable prayers. 17th, one must taste Mahaprasad. 18th, one must drink Charna Amrit. So these are must. 19th, one must smell the incense and flowers offered to the deity. 20th, one must touch the lotus feet of the deity. You can touch in the photos. Not everyone cannot go in the altar. And in our social media room, there is a special photo. There is a Gopashtami photo where Radharani's lotus feet is also visible in the frame. So, 21. One must see the deity with great devotion. 22. One must offer arti at different times. So as we cannot, everyone is not Brahman to go and do arti, so even attending full arti is as good as offering arti. But one should attend full arti. 23rd, one must hear about the Lord and His pastimes from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Bhagavad Gita and similar books. 24th, one must pray to the deity for His mercy. 25th, one must remember the deity. 26th, one should meditate upon the deity. So see, all these things being in the temple naturally happens for us. It's a part of our Krishna conscious life if we are in the temple. 26th, one should meditate upon deity. 27th, one should render some voluntary service. 28th, one should think of Lord as one's friend. 29th, one should offer everything to the Lord. 30th, one should offer a favorite article such as a food or a garment. No, that is 30th. 29th, one should offer everything to Lord. 30th, one should offer a favorite article. 31st, one should take all kinds of risks and perform all endeavors for Krishna's benefit. Actually, what will do benefit to Krishna, it is ultimately our benefit. But one should take all kinds of risks. Krishna arthe akhil cheshta. Like we see Srila Prabhupada taking all kinds of risks to go and spread Krishna consciousness in the Western world. So a devotee is told here, that one can take risk to spread Krishna consciousness. One should 31. One should take all kind of risk and perform all endeavors for Krishna's benefit. 32. In every condition, one should be a surrendered soul. So whether everything is going good or not good. Sometimes we may get idea that I am not very well, maybe I should go to some tantric or someone, but not needed. We should have full faith. Mare bhi, rakho bhi, jai ichha tomar. Whatever is your wish, whether you want to keep me alive or you want me to die, I will remain in your surrendered soul. 33. One should pour water on the tulsi tree. We do that every morning. 34. One should regularly hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and similar literature. 35th. One should live in a sacred place like Mathura, Vrindavan or Dwarka. 36th. One should offer service to Vaishnavas, part of the devotional service. 37th. One should arrange one's devotional service according to one's means. So whatever best capacity we can serve the deities, we can serve the Lord, we should try to do that. 38th. In the month of Kartik, one should make special arrangements for special services. Like we have Damodar Ashtakam. 39th. During Janmashtami, one should observe a special service. So we have Grand Janmashtami festival. 40th. One should do whatever is done with great care and devotion for the deity. Not do it casually, but always remember our good fortune that, I got an opportunity to be with devotees. I got an opportunity to serve the devotees. I got an opportunity to take Mahaprasad. I got an opportunity to take Charnamrit. So we should always think, wow, my life is so blessed that I have such wonderful opportunity. So we should do all this with great care. We should be very, very careful and devotion. 41. One should realize the pleasure of Bhagavatam. Secondary 10 regulative principles and added to these are 44 associations in Mathura are very important. These 64 items of devotional service should include all our activities of body, mind and speech. As stated in the beginning, the regulative principles of devotional service enjoins that all our senses must be employed in the service of the Lord. So, very nicely, Prabhupada has mentioned this, which we have received from Srila Rupa Goswami, and how we have to do it with our body, mind and speech. We have to engage all our senses. So for many years, as soon as we get connected to Krishna consciousness, we know, okay, we have to follow 4 regulative principles, we should not break these things. So that is one aspect. And these are the 64 items which we have to start implementing in our life. So even if we are traveling sometime in Sankirtan, we can, one should water tulsi. So if we are traveling many places, we stay. There are some tulsi plants there. We should water tulsi plants. Try to follow whatever is mentioned here. So these are some of the, not some, these are the most important 64 items. 5 we know, being in the temple almost everything is happening, and that is good enough if we just go on doing this with our body, mind and speech. Sometimes body is here but mind is somewhere else. So bring back our mind also. And in that way engage all our senses in service of Krishna. So we'll make progress in our Krishna conscious life. We'll make, although there's effect of Kali Yuga, just like sometimes people say, okay, there is Kali Yuga, what can be done? Everything is degraded, I can't do anything, it is effect of Kali Yuga, I want to be good but I can't be good, it's all Kali Yuga. But no, it's very wrong way to think like this or say like this. Just like when there's a rainy season and we use umbrella to protect ourselves, or it's very cold, then we use warm clothes to protect ourselves. We don't say it's rainy season, okay, I will be natural, I will just remain in, get affected by rains. No, we put umbrella. Or it's very cold, we don't say, okay, I will be natural, I will just have my regular shirt, I will not put a warm clothes. We put warm clothes to protect ourselves. Similarly, the effect of Kali Yuga is there. And as Prabhupada explains in the purport, that how these things are very rampant. He says, falsity, intoxication, animal slaughter, prostitution, so rampant all over the world. So what to do? We fall prey to it? No. We have to protect ourselves by being in association of devotees and try to execute these 64 items of devotional service in our day-to-day life, being very cautious that I always remain association of devotees. And the effect of Kali Yuga, in one of the purports in the beginning, Srila Prabhupada writes that it is the duty of the devotees to spread Krishna consciousness. And because, he doesn't write like devotees, he says because the India has not done its responsibility properly, that's why the world is misdirected. He writes in, I think, 2nd chapter or 1st chapter in one of the purports. Because the Indians have not done their responsibility nicely, that's why the world is in the wrong direction. So it is our responsibility, now being in Krishna conscious society, we are learning all this, now our responsibility to share with others. And Prabhupada says, even if 1% of the world population becomes devotees, the whole world will change. 1%. So 1%, 600 crores, 700 crores, 1% is how much? 6 crores. 8 crores. In Hyderabad, we don't even will have, I think, 6,000-8,000 devotees, isn't it? The population is 1 crore. So 1% of 1 crore? 1 lakh. 1 lakh devotees. 1 lakh devotees should be there at least. As Prabhupada said, 1%. 1 lakh devotees. So much for us to do to spread Krishna consciousness, book distribution, Harinam, Prasadam distribution, so that some effect of Kali can be reduced, some people will get benefited, and overall we will be benefited. That is the best thing. We will be benefited the most by doing all this. Hare Krishna. So any questions or any comments? Yes, Abhishek Baldev Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji, for wonderfully explaining all the points. Prabhuji, the sixth point which was mentioned, one should not be very enthusiastic to build a temple. And we see how Prabhupada personally took so much of anxiety building many temples, like especially the Juhu, in which Lila Amrita is mentioned. So, if you can explain that point, Prabhuji.
Yeah, it is. If you, the point is that what was the purpose of Prabhupada doing that? The purpose was that he said, he explained himself that if I can sit below a tree also and I am satisfied, but what will happen? No one will come. But if you make a big marble temple, then so many people will come. Now in Jew, it is every meeting, this is the main point of discussion. How to manage the crowd. So many people are coming. Ocean of crowd, so many people are coming. So acharyas, they see the higher principle, they can envision that what effect it will be. So sometimes, like there are other big businessmen, they also make big Krishna temple. But then their goal is not preaching. It is just like kind of, they have deities which there is not any proper worship. It is beautiful, so big, full marble, but there is no preaching there. There is no books, no prasadam given, no books. It's all just come. It's all material beauty. There is no worship standards there. So we have to understand the things in principle. And acharyas, like even what we speak of Srila Prabhupada, if you see the six Goswami, their temple itself are so gorgeous in Vrindavan. To make such temples 500 years back, like Govinda Dev temple, right now whatever is remaining itself is so amazing. And what was it when it was not broken by Aurangzeb? It was like so huge. And similarly Madan Mohan temple, see on the hilltop, after it's broken it's like this. When it was not broken, or Radha Damodar temple, or you go to Radha Raman temple, they all were sandstone marble temple. So the purpose was what? The purpose was to spread Krishna consciousness through those temples. But all those things happened very naturally for them. Like, as I have discussed many times, they are such a great pure devotees that Lord sent people to them to, they were not needed to do any campaigns, People came and made the whole temple for them. The kings came and made the whole temple. And they just continued the worship. Radha Madan Mohan, who made the one person who was going in the boat, his boat got stuck, isn't it? And he came to Sanatana Goswami, and he was a businessman, he made the whole temple. So it's like this. So whatever is Krishna's wish, Prabhupada wanted to establish the temple. That's the reason, because there has to be some center of deity worship, so that would help in preaching. But it's not that Prabhupada always made very, in West he just bought churches, whatever came, and converted into temple. He just looked for opportunities, places for purpose of the center. So there were many centers also, they are not very big temples. If you see Prabhupada's most of the places stressed on making people Krishna conscious. We read this daily Prabhupada quote, in one of the quotes he says, in this yuga it is more important to make devotees than to make temples. So one of the quote like that also is there. So the mood behind the principle behind making the temple is to spread Krishna consciousness.
And Prabhuji, secondly, the question was it was mentioned that one should take all the risk for spreading the message. So sometimes devotees, we take misunderstandingly the point risk. So what exactly it is there? Like,
so we should take the risk in spreading, like when we go for book distribution, Harinam, or we go for some college preaching program or something. There are some risks involved in that. Like Prabhupada going to the West to preach Krishna consciousness. So that kind of, not that, that train is at 1:30 and we start from temple at 1:20 and 10 minutes I will go very fast and take all the risk that I catch the train, and chant extra rounds, praying to the Lord, please make me catch the train. So not those kind of, that is not risk, that is ignorance. So, or suppose if we are doing distribution on the streets, and sometimes there are vehicles going very fast and we just go and stand in front of the vehicle. I'll take all the risks to make sure that this vehicle is stopped, this car is stopped, so that I'll give him a book. So not those kind of unnecessary risk. But there's a risk involved when we are going out, and some kind of risk is there. We should not be very fearful. When we can just see from the life of Srila Prabhupada, he just went to the West at his advanced age. Not only there, from there, like we hear from Shyam Sundar Prabhu in this Hare Krishna movie, he mentions that Prabhupada would have a globe and he will turn the globe and he will ask, so Shyam Sundar, where shall we go? Should we go to Japan? Should we go to England, Europe? Where should we go? And he would few options, and he would say, I know Prabhupada would like to hear the answer to go to a place where there is minimum Krishna conscious preaching. They said, I said, Prabhupada will go to Africa. Yes, he said, yes, we'll go to Africa. Because Africa has minimum preaching and there we should go. So think in that way, going to Africa and preaching Krishna consciousness, there is good amount of risk. Now also, Africa is not so convenient. Evening, no one goes out after the sun set because it's very risky. So devotees are preaching in Arab countries like Dubai and Bahrain and so many other countries. So they host program in the houses. They cannot go outside and do Sankirtan because not allowed. They cannot distribute Bhagavad Gita on the streets. So there are some risk. Devotees in Russia are trying to spread Krishna consciousness. Underground they are writing copies of Gita because they cannot print those days. It is not allowed. God books, Gita not allowed. Prabhupada says that when he was invited by the professor in Russia, who was he? Professor Kotowski. So the custom officer at the airport, he saw Bhagavad Gita in Prabhupada's bag, and that officer immediately called the higher officer. That Prabhupada having Bhagavad Gita, the custom officer immediately called the higher officer. And the higher officer came and saw Bhagavad Gita. And he said, okay, it's okay, let them go. So when Prabhupada was entering Russia, he was stopped for having Bhagavad Gita in his bag. But that was the risk. He went, just stayed few days, and that ignited Krishna consciousness in Russia. And now we see so many people become devotees. And later on also so many devotees went to Russia. So many devotees went to Pakistan to preach. How do they go? They wear regular clothes, Punjabi or some formals, and they go. So like that, some kind of risk is there in every endeavor, but depending on Krishna to go and spread Krishna consciousness. If someone wants to add to this risk factor, then they can add. So if we are doubtful whether we should take this risk or not take this risk, it's very simple. We have this beautiful society, there are many devotees near to us, we can just ask them. You can just ask them. And it's very easy, they will answer. Sometimes some devotees who are having a very nice job, they give up their job and join the temple to serve full time. So the parent says, taking such a big risk with a secured job, getting 2 lakh rupees per month, he's living and joining with no money, what he will do if the temple throws him out after some time? So he says, no, I'll just serve Krishna whole life. So like that, some risks we don't come to know also it's a risk. We just do it out of our inspiration, encouragement which we are getting from the senior devotees. And sometimes we realize, it's a risk. Overall, in our endeavors of taking risk, if there is any time any doubt that this will be too risky, we should check with the devotees. Like if we are in Hyderabad, unnecessary going in the areas where other religious groups stay and trying to give Bhagavad Gita, there is an unnecessary risk. Not required to do any such thing and create a religious animosity or right kind of situation. So we have to use our intelligence and take appropriate decision. What should be done, what should not be done. Hare Krishna. So any comments or any questions? नीरज प्रभु कुछ बोलना चाहता है.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
That's why the first top, before we go to this risk, in the top there are 10 basic principles where everywhere it is mentioned, follow on the footsteps of the previous acharyas, ask, inquire, take guidelines and follow that. So that is the first 10. Yes, बोलिए नीरज प्रभु.
प्रभु जी प्रश्न था कि जैसे कि जो पीपल का वृक्ष है आपने तक उसको भी वर्शिप करते हैं, तो उसको मतलब कैसे, मतलब भगवान को कैसे उसको संबंध रहता है, क्या कुछ बताइए, उसके बारे में कुछ बताइए हम.
पीपल का वृक्ष कैसे वर्शिप करते हैं,
मतलब क्यों वर्शिपल है, उसको क्यों करते हैं, मतलब उसके बारे में कुछ बताइए.
सचिन प्रभु बताएंगे, उनको माइक दीजिए. उधर जाकर पूछो. I don't know much details to this.
People is Vishnu.
People, Vishnu.
Vishnu is Vishnu.
In Gita, Krishna says, na, among the...
He says banyan,
हाँ.
but people
But
is
यहाँ
also
पे लिखा है
Vishnu.
worshipping trees like banyan trees. So banyan tree is what?
Banyan tree. Krishna says is of the trees is banyan.
Yeah. So,
But people is also considered to be very auspicious. It always gives oxygen. Banyan tree gives oxygen, people gives oxygen. People tree is Vishnu, very auspicious. In many places in Andhra, Telangana, you will find people and neem together. Neem is Lakshmi and people is Vishnu. And at that place you will find some temple also.
so people, banyan tree are representatives, or we can say Vishnu. So that's why. समझ गए?
हरे कृष्णा.
हरे कृष्णा. कैसे वर्शिप करते हैं पता नहीं. कैसे वर्शिप करते हैं उनको? He's saying you can't do Shodasopchar. Of course, you don't do that. You can just hold hands. Or maybe the way to worship the trees, I think offering water. I don't know much about this. You can ask in our deity worship group. You can ask this question, how to worship the banyan trees, what are the process? Hare Krishna. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्-भागवतम की, जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की, जय गौर प्रेमानंदे. शिला प्रभुपाद जी की जय.